I now talk about it, but they're on the page. Going through. How are you? Yeah, how are you?
But yeah, you can. And usually, when we run like but yeah, don't worry about that.
Cards, yeah, waiting for. My old girl, when I worked. Now. So it worked. But yeah, that's what I. I just started the way I arrived. I started. Well, but that. My daughter. Yeah. What it used to be. Good morning, everybody. Somebody give me some good news. Give me some good news. Huh? Any good news out there, guys? Someone give me good news. I'll slide back in the back.
Amazing agent to the Janice Overbeck real estate team. He brought us to number 2 on county.
Other good news. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say thank you to Bridget, because this is a great benefit. But besides that, every time I have a question about loans and my clients, even when they don't use it, even if they're he's always willing to go far beyond to find me the answer. And even though he doesn't have it, thank you so much, Rick. I really
With my grandson and 9 other kids at least age 15 with some parents who Walt Disney World and I survived. And yes, I did ride every ride that the teenagers rode, everyone I rode. So guys, so just I think it's for a really question. Yes, man, Eric. Yes, sir.
I think you're going now. Go ahead. Hey, everyone. So real quick, good news. I taught Ignite yesterday, strengthening relationships. We have an excellent Ignite student roster. So I want all the Ignite attendees to stand up, please. And they're doing a great job. They're so attentive. Tanya, Heather, Moore. Yeah, thank you guys. And teaching Ignite is amazing. I told them yesterday, I said, not only are you guys learning a lot from all of our instructors, but I learn a lot too, because these are refreshers, right? So thank you guys for being a great attentive class. And for the rest of the instructors, I just wanted to tell you that, and keep them going, keep them accountable, and they're going to do great.
I love it. Give them a hand, Eric.
Kiki, Melissa, and I did an event over the weekend. We had a plant propagating event party in this room, and it went very well. We had 20 people attend, and they walked away with 6 cuttings to be able to grow their own plants.
And did you need business from it this weekend?
I have a potential seller and a buyer.
Only thing you do plant propagating.
And I made sure I got face to face with them and talked to everybody in my database.
Love that. Let's give her a hand, guys. What? Anybody else with it? Want to share this is your time? Going once, going twice. Next. Unaffiliated business disclosure. Sherry, you're up.
So today you will get an email and then you will also get our course page. But the office has entered into a new JV with Thomas and Brown, a title company. So therefore, we have got a JV agreement that has to be signed by your clients. What we're going to do is, it looks a little bit different than the one that you currently get, that has Thomas and Brown, so Silverton, Supreme, and Noble on it. So what we've done is we've made this one PDF, a 2-page PDF, to keep from y'all having to make sure you've got, you're sending out all the documents, but hopefully it'll be a little easier. And then that is in addition to the wire fraud that you guys are already getting signed. So currently, before today, it was the wire fraud and our billing business disclosure that were this. Starting today, we've got the additional JD agreement, but it will be one PDF. Any questions on this? Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain the JV agreement?
Yeah, so, Keller Williams, we have gone into business with Thomas and Brown for a title company. And then, there will be money that is made that it will be shared back to the office. Don't ask me what the math looks like. But what the stickler on this though is, when you're putting Thomas and Brown on your contracts, you have got to put Thomas and Brown / East Cobb Title for it to work and for us to make money off of it, for us to get contributions off of it. So when you write your offers, when you're putting Thomas and Brown there on the attorney's line, put Thomas and Brown, East Cobb Title. All right?
And it cannot be amended after it's submitted.
Correct. So once you've done it, thank you. Once you've given this contract to Thomas and Brown's pre-closers, they put it on a path towards the title company's path, from the way it's been described to me. And once it gets put on that path, it cannot be added at a later date. This will not count towards that. So, and just a little side note, if you're already in a JV with somebody else, you put that title company on there. But for the most part, most of you, we want you to put East Cobb, we want you to put Thomas and Brown, East Cobb Title. Yes, ma'am.
So I understand when we are using one of those, vendors in
Uh-huh.
the contract, my client who do not use them or is not in the contract, they always ask me, why do I have to sign these if they are not the company that are?
Great question. It is a RESPA requirement that we disclose to you who we are in business with, where there could be some monetary gains. You're not required to use these people, but we have to, per RESPA, disclose to you who we have a business relationship with. And once you say it like that, usually there's no problem. Because they're not signing that they're using these people, they're just signing, acknowledging that Keller Williams has a relationship with these people.
We're using a different Thomas and Brown office.
It doesn't matter, title company, so that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yep, that doesn't matter.
So we're doing, let's say Woodstock, I still put the Woodstock phone number, but I put Thomas and Brown. East Cobb.
Yes, yes,
The Thomas and Brown East Cobb Title / Woodstock.
yeah, you could do that, that would help out,
Okay.
yeah.
What is JV?
Joint venture,
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry, joint venture. Any other questions, guys? So we'll have this emailed to you directly today so that you'll have it, that you can put on your desktop or in your .loop or in your DocuSign, and then we will also have it uploaded on our Quan resource page, so that if you need to go pull it, you can pull it from there. Anything else, guys? All right.
Sure, while you're up there.
Yes.
you wanna tell them the time change?
Oh, yes. So, next week, starting next week, we're trying to, based upon y'all, the survey done and y'all's comments and just having one-on-one conversations, trying to jazz up team meeting a little bit. Because we know everybody felt like it would get stale a little bit. We're starting next week, we're gonna change the time to 10:13 will be the new team meeting start time. That way, 10:13. So that way,
Right.
you have got time to get your prospecting done, get up, get your workout done, get up, get your kids to school. Plenty of time to get here, and then as soon as you leave here, you can go to your caravans or your open houses or continue doing your prospecting. So we're gonna play with it for a little while, guys, and we're also gonna start playing with some other things, so just stay tuned.
So was there particular relevance to 1013?
Sean liked that topic.
Oh, the new. Okay. It was the form used to initiate the involuntary evaluation of a person who creates a mental health crisis.
Hey, it's standing out.
Stay tuned. All right, guys, thank you.
Yeah. But I want you for 1 minute, ask Arthurine to tell me when we told this one that we're changing, what did you say, Arthurine, remember?
Praise the Lord. I've been asking for 13 years.
That is bad. Really, guys, we're gonna have fun. If y'all love it, I'm gonna love it, I promise you. If you don't like it, we'll figure something else out. But we're gonna try something different. I've been doing 9:30 team meetings for 4 years, and so we're trying to try something different. So, anyway, guys, just while we're doing that, and just be aware starting next week. Okay? The line part is Thomas and Brown. Come on up, Thomas and Brown.
So beautiful. I haven't seen the new room yet. It's fabulous. Well, good morning. I'm Carrie with Thompson Brown. We are gonna play a little trivia. So as most of well, probably everyone knows, April is Fair Housing Month. So our theme class this month is Fair Housing Fun because we're gonna make it fun because that's what we do is key. So I have a lot of trivia questions. We're only gonna do the first 3 and I'll save the others for next week. So it's true or false. Raise your hand and then we have some little Dunkin' Donuts gift cards for anyone who, or not, right? The person who raises their hand first. Okay, Vanna, I'm ready. Thank you. Yeah. She's ready. I didn't even see this. I love it. The Fair Housing Act was signed into law in 1916. Is that true? Very good, true. It was signed, actually on April 11th, 1968. It was, very good. Fair housing laws only apply to rental property. False, and I'll come to all parts in a second. Yes, it applies to sales, rentals, financing, advertising, really anything involved in the transaction. And number 3, real estate agents can suggest neighborhoods based on client rate. I saw her hand. That, what is it? Do you know what it is considered? Do you know what it is considered? That's like, wait, everyone gets to get started. Someone got like 13. Well, this is fast. We'll do one more.
Okay.
Let's see. Landlords must allow reasonable accommodation for buildings. Examples include service animals, accessible parking, and then GAR has 3 new forms to help with this, so we'll talk about that at our. Very good. So the process, and I'm so sorry, can you just flow through to our flyer, because I know we have like 5 more questions. I don't want to take up too much of our time. So our CE class will be the first Thursday. Yes, April 10th. I'm sorry, second Thursday. Right here in this very room from 1 to 4. So we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
God, we know that you take the construction we a fun class. I got a pretty more about that, guys. There's still saying it.
No.
All right, let us move on. We have a full agenda this morning. I'll move on. I think our sponsor, Big House Construction. Come on up, Big House Construction. Come on.
Morning. We got a lot of people in here today. I don't know if it's just because you rearranged it or if it's just. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you guys again. I've been in here quite a few times. For any of you who don't know me, my name is Neil Cook. I'm with Big House Construction. We're a full service roofing and construction company. And obviously here in Metro Atlanta, our offices in Marietta, we're not too far from here on Scufflegate Road. We've been in business since 2021, and I would like to think that our niche is great customer service with great workmanship and great quality products. I always urge all the clients that I work with to do your due diligence, research our company, look us up on Google. You'll find a lot of good information about us. I'm pretty sure right now we have 4.9 out of 5 stars on Google currently. So unlike a home inspector, our inspection for you is absolutely free. So utilize us. When we go out to any of the properties that you have, we're going to shoot a video of any damage that we find on the roof. And I will give commentary of any damage that I see up there. I will upload it to YouTube and provide you guys with that. So you kind of have something you can pass on to your clients so they know exactly what's going on. I always also guarantee any of the agents that I'm working with no longer than next day service. So of course, the first thing I want to ask you though, if you call me, is when is your due diligence up? If you have a few days to spare, then I might, try to work it around my schedule. But if you catch yourself in a bind, I'll find a way to get there to inspect the property for you no later than the next day. In you guys' case, a lot of the times you might not utilize necessarily a full roof replacement, but you might have things that are tripped up on your home inspection report, maybe even on the seller's disclosure statement. That's where you're really going to be able to utilize us. If you send this out there again, a lot of the times it's going to be for roofs that are 10 years plus, or any roofs that have storm damage, any roofs with leaks and missing shingles. And I've just seen, home inspectors too can find a plethora of other things. Sometimes some of the things they find are not really that important, but we'll go check it out for you guys anyways. I kind of told you we're going to give you a video. We also can work with insurance companies on any of the recent storms. Everything we do with insurance is 110% transparent with the insurance company. What that translates for you is that we don't write estimates when it comes to insurance work. We do the work for whatever the insurance company says they're gonna pay. You guys or your client just has to pay the deductible. I'm sure you can find in today's market, there's probably still companies that'll tell you to waive the deductible. We just flat out want to do it because today is such a ridiculous price. Our service area, we pretty much cover anywhere in Metro Atlanta. I've been down as far south as Peachtree City and Noonan. I've been up north to Lake Hartwell. Anywhere from Villa Rica to Lawrenceville and Loganville. So we pretty much cover a wide array of areas. And I think that's pretty much what I got for you guys today, unless anyone has any questions.
Your name, I'm sorry.
It's Neil Cook, and I left some business cards back there. There's also breakfast, so you guys enjoy it. So.
Thank you.
Like next. Next is headshot. Now, some of you guys in here that are close to my age in Kimberly Day, and I'll expect you to decide who that is, what I mean. If you still have your high school picture on your card, you know, your new one. The guy, so next week, Jeremy Adams, is his name, is gonna be here. He does a great job. He'll be here to take pictures of you guys. If you need a headshot, please do it. This is a great time to do it as the spring season starts. Shred and Dylan, tell us about that. I waited till you, let's put him up.
I can do it.
You did great. There it goes, please.
All right, guys, this is one of the best events of the year. Who's all done shred and double? Yes, right? I will tell you, my clients love this one probably more than most of the events we do. So basically you can have, there's certain things that they can bring and not bring, so we, provide all those lists. But basically, it's a great touch to your clients. You have multiple opportunities to send out. It is invite only, so do not blast it on social media. They will be in the lower parking lot, dumpsters and recycling trucks. Shredding trucks, I should say. Let's see, you see the pricing up here, all the materials, Kimberly is sending out, and it'll be Saturday, the 26th from 9 to 12. Again, very, well received by our clients. And anything I'm missing?
No.
Obviously, once you pay, then you get all the materials that you can then provide, and you can, add your branding to it, obviously with the flyer that they use, if you want to put your logo on it. Some people, agents that participate, I know they like to, give out little, goodie bags or something like that to your clients when they come and then leave, but it's a really great event that we've been doing for several years now. Any questions?
Okay, this is a no-brainer. I mean, this is a no-brainer. You need to do this because this is a chance for you to touch your client base or your 5 Fs or whatever, say, come and bring your junk. Everybody has junk, right?
Yeah.
So guys, this is like I don't know why you're not sold out, but I understand. You should be sold out with no more room. There should be a waiting list, guys. This is so good. When you miss it because you don't know how valuable it is. But please do this. Sign up for it so you can touch your database and be ready for the oncoming market, which is great. All right, next. Lessons learned.
Oh, it's my turn. All right.
Look up, Sean.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Great.
Excellent.
Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Excellent.
One more time. You guys, I need some more energy. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Okay. Thank you very much for your participation. Let's see here. Lessons learned. This is non-real estate related. How many people are Braves fans in the room? Yes. This is the last time the Braves lost their opening series. They won the World Series. So there is hope. Oh, all right. We just lost our left fielder. He decided he wanted to do something he shouldn't have. So he can't play anymore. Suspended for PEDs. Sorry. My other lesson learned is that 1013 is not a good number. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't know. No idea. So we'll figure that out. So thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
An agent on Facebook who said, these are not my words, these are somebody else's words, blah, 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 and then tagged the hashtag, I'm a realtor. And so some other realtors saw it, brought them up on charges for ethics violations, and their defense was, well, they weren't my words, I was just repeating them, and it came across as hate speech and harassment. And so the agent was sanctioned for that. So just be very careful, especially in this day and age right now with everything going on in the world. Just
be careful when you post it, especially on your personal page, if your hashtag and everything got realtor, then by golly, we're gonna treat you like a realtor with a form on, so just be kind, be loving, and be careful what you're saying out there, so you get. You can get anything from, how to take classes, they have a recommendation for your life potentially to be in jeopardy, a letter that goes into your files, so if anybody ever looks up your license and sees what, Richie's doing, they'll see that I've gotten reprimanded for an ethics violation, and that would be nothing. So, be very careful, and usually, it's, an agent turned in another agent who says that you can be thinking like that.
Okay, fair housing, one of the major things they preach is, it's not what you do to me. It's how you make me feel.
Yeah.
And that's what he's saying, I can look at Sage and say, Sage, let's do the new health plan. Whatever, and I don't think it's fun, she goes, well, no, that was actually embarrassing. So it's not what you do in the situation, it's how you make that person feel about it. It's the cost. There's a lot of people out there that don't offended easily, I don't even want to, that's just, thank you, great lesson, thank you very much. Next. If you get James on yet, okay, well, let's do it, come on up, who's up?
Us?
Come on, let's do it, hey guys, welcome in.
I'm Danielle Delaney with Silverton Mortgage. Nice to see you guys this morning. Want to update you on interest rates. Conventional rate right now, the national average is about 6.7 and FHA is 6.1%. So that's all I got for you. And I want to reiterate what Kyle said last week. If there is any topics that you'd like to hear from us about, please let us know. Feel free to email or text us.
Well, one topic that we will tell you about is the movie party that we're sponsoring for you guys coming up soon. We don't have.
Next team meeting, we will have the official date.
There's a reason for this, and that's because we can't now go directly to the theater after all these years. 10 years? I don't know. We don't go to the theater anymore. We go to a third party that actually handles the booking of the theater for us. And then Heather's also been waiting to try to make sure that we have movies that are, it's a good mix for you guys with the kids movie and stuff like that. But I actually have some good economic news. If I could find it, I just had it here and then I touched my phone. You know how that goes? Hang on. Turning to the markets. The economy is going to improve slowly. The economy is also going to improve quickly, or vice versa. It will definitely be one or the other, and it all depends on tariffs dampening the U.S. consumers' desire to buy anything or not, or something in between. It's just an issue of sooner or later, more or less. The opposite is probably true also. Even so, no matter how gradual the improvement, it will be sudden. The economy will stall around the third quarter before Halloween and then build momentum through the rest of 2012, reverse course in 2013, and then pause for a cigarette break. Anyway, this is April Fool's Day today. So I wanted to read that to you. I got it this morning and there's actually a lot more. I might even send it out to you. Somewhere. But yeah, that's about the degree of accuracy that we have with what's happening. Would you agree? Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm telling you, double speak. So, I mean, really, honestly, guys, look, we know what markets, we know what real estate interest rates, interest rates are today, and we can help you. As for giving guidance on what's going to happen in the future, we don't know. I mean, there's some general ideas we may have, but we don't know what rates are going to do, not definitively so. But we do know what they are today, so we'd be happy to help you guys and your clients. Appreciate y'all.
If I ask you, I'll ask you why. And how's the market right now? Don't ask me why do you ask? How would you describe the market if someone asked you how the market right now? Karen, how would you describe the market right now?
Very nichey. I mean,
What that means.
it depends on where it is, and the price point. So I mean, some things are going in a couple days and average days on market, I think is, 20. So.
Okay, I love that.
Depends on what people are used to.
Okay, all right, anybody else? How's the market?
Great time to buy or sell a house.
Well, why do you say that, David?
Well, I've bought a number of houses over the years, and it's always been a great time to buy or sell a house. No matter the market, no matter the situation, there's always buyers and sellers. You gotta find them.
I like that. Hey, what would you say?
I would say that I'm having a little problem with my throat.
Okay. All right, who else? And what would you say how the market is right now? You're doing your own. Okay.
Yes, I usually say, it depends on where. You have some areas that are really hot, that are getting multiple offers, and you have other areas where properties are sitting in little offers. So it just kind of depends on where you are looking and what you're looking for.
Anybody else want to take that step? Yes, ma'am.
Y'all said it's turning into a buyer's market, some areas of town.
Yeah.
Way properties are sitting, 3-4 months, and we're getting more concessions, we're getting more price, we're getting more in the game again.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Virginia, what do you think? What'd you say?
Yeah.
You talked about, I like that, okay. Is that a good thing? Okay, Eric?
Not that this would be a big surprise, but I'm seeing more, like comparing listings, like I have two recently that were different spectrums. One's fully, updated turnkey. So of course, people were diving all those. Those are going in a couple days, multiple offers still. Others that are moving ready that are nice, buyers are being very picky about. So I think buyers are wanting a lot more perfection now. And which I think is causing some of the longer, days on market. And some of my listings, I'm like, not on a contract yet. And obviously we focus on pricing. And I feel like I'm even priced below the comps in this one listing, but still no offers yet. And so, yeah, it comes down to pricing. It's for that particular neighborhood or market or whatever, but some are going quick, some.
I feel like exactly the same interpretation, but I will say, like, the houses are single family homes, I think I feel like I'm moving them a little faster. But those are not down homes, even though they are in pristine condition or the businesses taking forever, even to get the buyer into the.
I like that. Who else like to venture and things on this? Anything different? Anybody? Okay, yes, no, Karen?
I'm noticing that the views, like when you track the Zillow views and the chairs and the stage and all that stuff, they're very high on, and this has been over a little bit of time, probably 6 or 8 weeks. But it's not converting like it used to showing through the door. So I think people are looking and kind of sitting on things and thinking about it, and I think, who knows why, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world. So, but I do notice that even though we're getting the activity online, we're not getting that activity.
Yeah. The other question that I have today, and if you're interested, because I ask the question a lot, some people are having their best year ever. Some people are having their very, very best year. They're jammed right now. Could be torn, but I have more ways I can do right now. But others are not having their best year ever. And I've asked that question. I said, why are some having their best year ever, others are not? Give me an opinion on that. What do you all think?
Who's having?
So,
All
saying
right,
that?
No, who is having the best year, so we can hear from them.
You bet.
I'm on.
Okay.
I've started off and on pace, and Tracy, my assistant, called me this morning and she says, hey, how's the pipeline looking? And so she's holding me accountable to making sure I'm staying focused on activities. And we talked yesterday in Ignite about, you can't let up, right? If you can work so much in the business, but if you're not working on the business, you're gonna be suffering 2 months from now. And I've done it. I think we've probably all done it. And I told Trace, I said, we are not doing this anymore, which is what happened some last year. We can blame all the excuses, the market and rates and buyers being too picky and whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Stay focused, working on the business, making your calls, making your touches, and doing the activities. I mean,
what I'm hearing when I talk to agents, tell me about your lead gen activities. James on? James is on. So guys, there's a reason why this is not great right now. So we wanted to get James Shaw here to talk about this. So talk to him, introduce. Sure.
Can you hear us okay, James?
I can hear you, Authorine. Good morning.
Perfect. Oh, there you are. So guys, I would like to introduce James Shaw to you. If you don't know who he is, you need to know who James Shaw is. So in a nutshell, because James will tell you more about who he is, he's been a team leader, he's been Jim, he's been me, right? He's been an agent, he's been a maths coach, a bowls coach, the whole thing. He is.
I can't keep a job, Authorine.
Just keep a job. So most recently, James is the founder of the Pivot Shift Ahead group. That group has grown from maybe 10 to 123,000 people in that group. We mastermind every morning from 7:20 to 8:30. It has kept most of us in business. If it wasn't for that group, most of us we wouldn't have survived the pandemic, right? And Amanda's nodding her head. We would not have survived. So James is here to tell us what to do going into second quarter so that we all will have a fantastic second quarter. So James, you take it away.
Oh, you're so sweet, Authorine and Jim. Thank you. Everybody good in the ATL today? Yes?
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you, Arthur, and getting James here for us. It's quite a speech. Can we thank Arthur for doing that? Thank all, James, welcome.
I mean, basically, if Authorine sends me a text, I'll be there. But how she did this one to make sure I was here is that she had Nadine put it on my calendar, so I didn't have a choice. So I'm happy to be here to walk with you guys through some stuff. Who's my friend in the very front in the gray shirt that says his admin is calling him about his pipeline? What's your name?
Hey, James, it's Eric Decker.
What's up, Eric? That's really good. I'm really proud of you for that because it's easy to get sidetracked by keeping deals together and getting them over the finish line. And I get it, that's when you get paid, but that's somebody else's job. Your job is to keep the pipeline full at all times. And I'm proud of you for setting it up to make sure that your pipeline is always full, because otherwise there's no leads to get across the finish line. So well done. Authorine, I appreciate you and Jim for having me. Again, my name's James. And if you, how many of you raise your hand, or at least members of Pivot Shift Ahead on the Facebook, raise your hand if you're a member. And if you're not, what is your problem? Are you smarter than everybody else? You don't need masterminding? That's a joke, y'all. You're allowed to laugh. Pull out your Facebook app right now if you're not on Pivot Shift Ahead and go at it and just search Pivot Shift Ahead if you're not a member. And here's the deal. That Facebook group is, it's not like the other real estate facing Facebook groups that you're in that post a lot of stuff that gets you wound up, that every other post is a referral request or something like that. This is a mastermind community where we're asking questions and sharing ideas and strategies to help make your business better and to help you in a market like this. So if you're not a member, I invite you to join it. Search Pivot Shift Ahead on Facebook. I'll have to approve your membership, and then every post I approve too. So nothing gets posted in there that's off topic, so you never have to worry about that. And then we do a call every single weekday morning, and I invite you to join us. Many of you in this market center are part of that and participate in it regularly or from time to time, whatever works best for you. This mastermind call starts at 7:30 Eastern time. And my only request is that if you aren't dressed, you keep your camera off. That's my only request. We've had 6 naked people on my call, so over the 5 years that we've been doing it. So just be mindful. But we do a mastermind call, starts at 7:30 Eastern, and then we begin a live stream of that call inside of Pivot Shift Ahead at 8 o'clock Eastern every day, and it's always over by 8:20. So you can pop in or out, whatever works for you. Authorine can share the link with you, but if you just go to my website, which is jamesdshaw.com, jamesdshaw.com, and click Join Our Free Daily Call, that'll give you the Zoom link. Every call, like I said, is live streamed inside of Pivot, so if you ever miss a call, you can go back and watch the recording. And what I'm going to give you today is something we did over a 5-day period inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. I called it Back on Track. Now, this came because I asked a question inside of Pivot Shift Ahead, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, Authorine, where I asked how many of you were on track, behind, or ahead of your your goal pace for 2025? What do you think was the most common answer? It was behind. In fact, I'd ask it in the room, and this is the way I live. I just live in a transparent, non-judgmental space as much as I possibly can. How many of you like that? You want to be non-judgmental and yet transparent about what you're experiencing. How many of you like to do that too? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. That's what I thought. Most of you are pretty judgmental. But I like to be non-judgmental and transparent, and I like to create a safe space where we don't have to look good and be right to other people. We just need to be honest about what we're experiencing so that we can do the right steps to move us forward. So my question for those of you in this room in Atlanta today is, how many of you are ahead of goal? Raise your hand. Right now, as of the first day of April 2025, you're ahead of your goal pace. I see 2 hands. 4 hands. Thank you, Jim. Okay, how many of you are right on track? Like you are it's easy to do the math because you can take however many closings you've had in the first quarter and multiply it times 4. That'll tell you if you're on track. How many of you are on track? Raise your hand for your goal. We had 4 people ahead. I have one Teresa in the chat says she's on track. One other person in the front sitting next to Authorine says she's on track. How many of you are behind? Raise your hand if you're behind. Raise your hand if you're behind. Jim, how many hands? Almost all of them. Okay, put your hands down. Some of you didn't raise your hand. This is not a hard thing. You're either ahead, on track, or behind. Raise your hand if you are not going to raise your hand real quick. Raise your hand if you're not going to raise your hand today. All right, we got a couple of you. Here's the deal. I don't really care where you are on April 1st. See, you can be ahead and lose. I don't have to remind Atlanta of that. Authorine, it's very grumbly. Whoever's talking, I cannot hear you. Yeah, I'm to be truthful, I can't. It's very garbly, so I didn't hear what you all said, but I apologize. But you can be ahead and lose. You can be on track and lose. You can be behind and win. And so I want you to succeed and reach your goal, because my guess is you set your goal on purpose and with purpose. In fact, the real estate agents who are most likely to reach their goals are the ones who set goals on purpose with purpose. And people say, well, James, how do I set a goal on purpose and with purpose? And the answer is you make sure it means something. I've met a lot of agents and I say, how many homes is it that you'd like to sell this year? And they'd go, 36. And I go, awesome. How did you come up with that? And they say, well, it's more homes than I did last year, and I think I can do 3 a month. Now, who's ever set their goal like that? Raise your hand if that's how you set a goal previously, where it's like, yeah, that number sounds good to me. That room, a bunch of you just lied to me in that room right there. I know more of you than that have done that before. Yeah, I think I can do that many. That's not on purpose with purpose. On purpose with purpose means you went and figured out your lid. Raise your hand if you're familiar with the lid, L-I-D. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about when I say the lid. It's a handful of you. The lid is a concept that I learned from my friend Gene Rivers. Gene Rivers is a KWU Master Faculty member like me, and is an absolute genius, and taught us this concept of the lid. And he says, here's what you do. You go and figure out what your lid is. L means lifestyle. Are y'all writing this down? If you're not familiar, you're going to write it down. L means lifestyle. What does my lifestyle cost in a year? How many times do I go to Starbucks? How often do I eat out? Do I have season tickets to performing arts or sports? Is my kid in extracurriculars that requires money? Are we going to go on a vacation this year? What am I going to spend on clothing? What's my grocery bill look like? All of those different things. In fact, if you are a member of my private community called the Inspire Collective, which several of you are, we have a spreadsheet that will allow you to go figure all this out, that we give you each line item and you go put in what you spend monthly and annually on it. And that's your lifestyle. So whatever your life costs you. I stands for investing. What's your investment plan for this year? What are you doing in your SEP IRA? What are you going to do? Are you buying investment properties? What's your retirement plan stuff look like? Are you all that, just investing piece. And then D stands for debt. What is your debt obligation going to be this year? Your largest debt every year is the IRS. So you figure out what's your tax bill going to be. What is your state tax going to look like? What do you owe on credit cards? What's your mortgage payment? Do you have a car payment? Are you paying for your kids' college? You know, what are your debt obligations? And you put all of that in this spreadsheet, and it will give you a number. And let's say that number is $300,000. Well, now you know your lid. Your lid is $300,000. In other words, that means that your business needs to produce before tax $300,000. And then what you do is you take that $300,000 and you go put it in the economic model from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. How many of you are familiar with that? Raise your hand. You're familiar with the economic model from the good. That makes me very happy. There's a spreadsheet for it. I've put it in Pivot Shift Ahead, but you can find it anywhere. Jim and Authorine can email it out to you. And you take, once you do your lid exercise, you take that number and you put it in the net income section of the economic model. Just the one thing you have to remember is it's net income before tax. That's what that number is, net income before tax. And you put it in the economic model of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and you type in a few more things, and at the very bottom it will say you need to sell 36 homes. Now, do you see how that's on purpose with purpose? Because you went through and figured out what's my lifestyle cost, what does my investing need to look like, and what is my debt obligation going to be for the year? And when you go and look at it and you go, oh, I can't, you know what, there's no way I could do that many homes. Then you have to go back and change the lid. You have to go back and remove something from the lifestyle, remove something from the investing, pay down less of your debt. Or you look at it and go, I can't really change my lid. Then now you know what your number is. You're on purpose with purpose. If you have not done that yet this year, I'd encourage you to go do it. Figure out how you get your goal on purpose with purpose. Because when you do, well, then you're more likely to do the activities required for you to reach the goal. Here's what I might suggest. If you're currently behind goal, your goal isn't on purpose with purpose. Your goal doesn't have a lot of meaning to you, possibly, because if it did, you would do the things required to get there. Now, some of you are going, well, James, my goal does mean a lot to me. Like, I have to sell this many homes. All right, no problem. Then let's get you back on track. So we came up with 5 ways, 5 areas that you could focus on to help you get back on track. And if you want to watch, I have a 20-minute mastermind video on each of these 5 ways that we did as part of Pivot Shift Ahead. And if you want to watch it, write down this web address, and Authorine, maybe you can email it out to everybody or write it on the board in the room. It's super simple. It's Back on Track. It's easy, right? BackonTrack.JamesDShaw.com. BackonTrack.JamesDShaw.com. And that will take you to a YouTube playlist that will just give you all 5 of these strategies and expand on it a little bit more than what I'll have time for today. But let's give them to you now so you have the overview. And if you like them, by the way, I'd love to hear from you. My Instagram is James D. Shaw. So send me a DM. Let me know how this impacted you. Share something that's worked with you. Maybe you're doing something that's totally amazing and I should interview you about it. Let me know. James D. Shaw on Instagram is the easiest way to reach me. Just send me a DM. But let me give you these 5 back on track strategies. And number 1 is this: double down on your standard. That's step 1. Double down on your standard, because the number 1 reason that agents fall behind their goal is that they simply aren't hitting their standard. Their non-negotiable target for contacts, leads, listings, and under contracts. Now let's talk about what is a standard. Now, so what I want you to do is you're going to shout out. I'm just going to count to 3. I won't be able to hear you because the audio is way too garbly for me to even understand what you're saying. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to count to 3, and you are going to shout out, what is your listing taken standard each month? How many listings must you take a month? What is your standard? We're going to count to 3, and you're all going to shout it out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Jim, did people shout stuff out? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Do we have 100% participation in the room, Jim? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Jim, I can't hear you, so you have to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Did we have 100% participation in that? Thumbs down? Well, come on, folks. I did not give up a half hour of my time for free for you to halfway participate. So we're going to do it again. I have a 13-year-old, so I'm real good at getting y'all to do what I want you to do. So I'm going to count to 3, and all of you are going to shout out your listing standard for the month. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Was that better, Autherine and Jim? Was that better? Thumbs up. Yeah? Okay, good. Perfect. Now, proud of you. See, because you probably came up with that goal by doing your lid and doing the economic model, and it said you need to take this many listings. Raise your hand, do me a favor though, and raise your hand that if you did not hit that standard in March. Raise your hand. If you were short of your listing taken standard in March, raise your hand. Be proud of it, by the way. Raise it up high, like you're in church. Like, come on, let's go. Raise it up high. All right, look at you. I'm so proud of you. But let's just clear something up. If you're raising your hand right now that you did not hit your listing standard in the month of March, then let me just tell you, it's not a standard.
Yeah.
See, a standard is the least you will settle for. So if you told me that your standard was 2, but you took 0, then your standard is 0. If you told me that your standard was 4, but you took 3, your standard is 3. Now, we got to have clarity about that. That a standard is the least I'll settle for. So, if the number that you say is your standard isn't really your standard, change it to your actual standard. Now, I hope 0 isn't the number, but if you've been saying every month you want to take 3, but you're actually really taking 2 and you're okay with that, then let's remove the pressure of needing to get 3 and just announce and proclaim that it's 2. But if 2 is the number, you have to get it. Now, some of you are behind. And so what that means is you have to double down on your standard to get back on track. In other words, go look and say, all right, if my standard is 2, but I haven't been hitting it and I'm behind, what needs to happen for me to take 3 or 4 in a month? Now, how can you do that? Well, you can become part of what we talk about inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. If you are an Inspire member, raise your hand. We have some Inspire members in the room. Raise your hand if you're an Inspire member in the room. I'm so proud of you. I see a handful of you. Inspire is my private mastermind community. There is a fee for that, a little bit extra cost. But if you are an Inspire member, next week we're kicking off our Spring Momentum Challenge. That is all, next week we're kicking off our Spring Momentum Challenge that's all focused on taking more listings, because I think we have to double down on that. So that's number 1. Number 1 is double down on your standard. Number 2 strategy is master your follow-up and convert leads out of your pipeline. You know, I think that some of you may not actually need to do more lead generation. You just need to do lead follow-up. I think most agents have a ton of people sitting in their database that all they need is very simple and direct follow-up to turn them into opportunity. And there's a really simple script. Raise your hand if it's ever happened to you where someone said, hey, we're going to list our house this summer. And then you call them in the summer and they go, oh yeah, we already listed it. Has that happened to anyone in the room besides me? Thank you, friend in the front row and in the second row and in the back. You know why this happens? Because we just don't follow up with them in the right time. The longest we should ever wait to follow up with someone is 90 days, never more than that. And oftentimes it's going to be faster. And people say, well, I don't know what to say. Like if I'm going to follow, I don't want to pester and I don't want to sound salesy and I don't want to be annoying or obnoxious. So what should I say? And I go, it's really simple. You just text or call and you say, hey, Autherine, the last time we talked, you told me that your plan was to put your home on the market this summer. Is that still your plan? And see, if we did that every 90 days as a minimum and sometimes faster, I know what Autherine's plans are and I'm going to be the one in line to take the listing. Hey, the last time we talked, you told me your plan was to relocate to Atlanta in August. Is that still your plan? Yes or no? Answers are relevant, but you're staying in a flow. What I'd recommend you do is implement some kind of system that requires some type of follow-up on a daily basis. Now, something we created inside the Inspire Collective, again, my private community, is a 30-day point tracker system. We got this from my friend Brittany McAllister. Brittany McAllister sold 75 homes last year in Omaha, Nebraska, as a mom of two kids under 2. During that time, during last year when she sold the 75 homes, she had a newborn and her daughter was still in the NICU. Her daughter was born 90 days early, weighed just over 2 pounds. And so every day she would go to the hospital and sit with her daughter. As this is going on, she's now pregnant with her son. And she's sitting there going, I have to get into production, but I cannot waste time. I have to be effective and efficient with my strategy. And so she came up with this point system that she allowed us to adapt and share with our Inspire members. That she just said, all I have to do every day is get 30 points. Like instead of worrying about how many contacts did I make and how many appointments did I schedule, just get 30 points. And she would get points for getting something under contract, get points for taking a listing, get points for talking to so many clients, past clients, get points for texting people in her database. And so we put all this together and we said, just go get 30 points every single day. If something like that helps you stay in the follow-up and pipeline conversion system, then you're in a good space. And another strategy is, how many of you have some leads that are lukewarm? People that said they were going to do something but haven't done anything. Anybody have any lukewarm leads? Yeah, send them a video. Just send them a video that says, and you, by the way, you only have to record it one time. You don't have to say their name in it. Just record this one video and just say, hey, it's James over at KW, and you know what? I was thinking about you today and realized we haven't talked in a while, and so thought I'd check in. The last time we talked, you told me your plan was to do blank. Is that still your plan? And if you text that video to 5 people a day, I promise you, your lead pipeline is going to start to get full. So number 1 is double down on your standard. Number 2 is master your follow-up and convert your pipeline. Number 3 is build listings quickly. You've heard it list to last. That's not a new thing. But what I'd recommend you do is however many listings you think you need to double it. You need more listings to succeed in this market than you've likely needed in a very long time. And the question is, how do you do it? Well, there are so many strategies. I don't care what you do. But if you're behind on your listings taken, there's a couple of things I'd suggest. First, FSBOs and expires are layups. But I don't want to call FSBOs and expires. Well, then don't be behind goal. Like if you're behind, then you have to do things you wouldn't like to do to get back on track. Once you're on track, you can dump that. Go do more open houses. But if you're going to do an open house, go knock 100 doors before every open house. Not with the purpose of bringing buyers to the open house, but just the, hey, we're doing an open house in your neighborhood. And I find that a lot of times when one home goes on the market, there's 2 or 3 other people who are also thinking about selling. Who do you know that's looking to move right now? Would it be okay with you if I sent you an update on what your home's value is? Would you be interested in that? Is there a price that would get you to think about moving right now, even if you weren't planning on it? I don't care what you ask. Those are some ideas. But if you do an open house, please don't do an open house without knocking 100 doors before or after. If you're not going to knock the 100 doors before or after, you're better off sitting at home and watching, what's that show my wife is watching right now? White Lotus? Is that what it's called? I don't know. I heard that this season stinks. But if you're not going to go door knock 100 doors with the purpose of adding listing leads to the pipeline, what's the purpose of the open house? If you're behind your listing goal, then yeah, go door knock on some expireds or call some expireds or call some FSBOs and build relationship. Go call 5 people in your database every day and say, hey, I'm working on updated home values for people inside of my database. Would you be interested in knowing what's going on with the value of your home? If you just do stuff like that daily, I don't care what you do. There's a ton of strategies, and we have all sorts of them at jamesdshaw.com under the agent interview section. It's all free. Literally, all of that stuff is available to any person. If you go there, you'll find lots of options, but you got to build your listing inventory quick. And what I'd recommend is this. I wouldn't move off of your lead gen each day until you've either scheduled a listing appointment or added a listing lead to the pipeline. Like that's how you know it's time to move on to the next activity. Write it down. The time to move on from lead generation is when you've either A, scheduled a listing appointment, or B, added a listing lead to the pipeline. You've got to be listing focused. If you are not listing focused, you struggle to succeed in this market. Number 4, implement a results results-oriented schedule. That's number 4. Implement a results-oriented schedule. Now, what I'd recommend is quite simple. Get on our mastermind call to get your mindset and your headspace right for the day. It's free, folks. It's been free for 5 years. I started it March 16th, 2020, as we were entering the pandemic, as a place for us to strategize and mastermind and get our heads right. And here we are over 5 years later, still doing this every day. We had 1,000 people on the call today. There'll be another 1,500 to 2,000 that'll watch the recording today. And we heard a story from an agent today in Indianapolis. Anybody hear that story from Tiffany? Who was on this morning and heard Tiffany's story? Tiffany said today, last year, she sold 6 homes. 6 homes all year. This year, she's already had 7 closings and has 3 more today. 3 closings in one day. Half of her production from last year, she's closing today. 10 transactions. She's on pace for 40 deals. I said, why? How? Because she made a decision to lead generate, well, first to be on the call. She's on the Pivot call every day. She's an Inspire member. She comes to our events. She made the decision to do the right activities, and that has changed her lifestyle. That's what I want you to do. Figure out how you can follow a results-oriented schedule, whatever that means for you. Number 5 is elevate your mindset and your energy and think like a top producer. In other words, surround yourself with people who are winning. Plug in to the stuff that's available to you. Jim, I'm so happy to see basically every seat full in your training room, plus tons of people on the Zoom. That means, first of all, that Jim is adding value to you. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a legendary leader inside of Keller Williams. It's one of those things that my friend John Acuff says that when you're in the jar, it's hard to read the ingredients, and you're in a really good jar, and you might forget sometimes how good it is inside of your market center. You are blessed and fortunate to be in the office that you're in, because not all of them are doing stuff like this. Most of them have team meetings where 7 people come and they spend the whole time talking about buyer needs. How boring is that? Oh, they're clapping for you, Jim. That's so exciting. I clap too. Jim is the best, Teresa. It's exactly right. But what I'd tell you is you need to hang out in places like this. Because when you hang out with people who are winning, it gets you in the mindset of winning and helps you get back on track. The people who are on our calls in the morning are succeeding. They're reaching their goals. I'd recommend that you adopt the mindset of what would a top producer do, and then take the right actions. Those are the 5. Those are the 5. Number 1 is double down on your standard. Number 2 is master your lead follow-up and your conversion. Number 3 is build listings fast. In other words, become a listing-based agent. Number 4 is implement a results-oriented schedule. And number 5 is elevate your mindset and energy. Act like a top producer. Now, we've got all sorts of free stuff available to you inside the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. We'll post a bunch of the stuff on my Instagram, which is James D. Shaw. We have a bunch of free stuff on the YouTube channel and on my website at jamesdshaw.com. And then if you're super into growing, I invite you to check out the Inspire Collective, which is my paid mastermind community. We're doing a Q1 review today where we've given everybody a spreadsheet and a worksheet to allow them to go back and reflect on what worked in Q1, what didn't work, and then go through specific strategies to help you move forward. Next week, we start our Spring Momentum Challenge to make sure that you're really focused on listings. And so if you're into something like that, Author Inc. can tell you about it. She's been a member since the beginning, and she can share the details. But Jim, I trust this was some value to you. I appreciate the opportunity to come and join you guys. Now is your opportunity to get back on track. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you around. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
James, you have time for a quick question? I guess he does not. He does not. All right, so guys, if I ask you today, why are you not accepting to be right now? What would your answer be? This, that? My friend. And my friend, why else would you say that you're not on track?
I'm lazy.
Pardon me?
I'm lazy.
I like that. I mean, that's.
If I'm not on track, it's because I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing the work because I'm being lazy.
I think it's a mindset. Okay. No, you're not lazy, it's a mindset.
Yeah. But mine's second place.
Well, it's not being this.
Yeah. Well, it's not a priority at that moment,
Okay.
you know, but it doesn't mean I'm always lazy or it's always not a priority. It's just at that moment. That for that week, for that month, it's not a priority. And I have to get back into the habit of being a priority.
You guys, James Shaw is amazing. And you guys, what made me sad is that just the very few online, if you're like to do something different. You blame it on the market. You blame it on, I don't have the right activity, you blame it on whatever. What, was anything new said today? Anybody get anything new today?
That's the standard, right? Because your standard is what you're gonna settle for, but if you're lead generating every day and your goal is to get add something to your pipeline or get a listing appointment, and you spend the entire day lead generating, you're like, well, I hit my 20 contacts. Well, that's not really your standard. Your standard is that appointment, right? So you're like, I'm good. I did what I was supposed to do today. Hit my 20 contacts. I'm gonna go home. Well, was the 20 contacts the standard or was the appointment the standard? Right, so personally, that's where I get into the thing.
I think for me, it has to be the activity. It can't be, if I'm too tired of the outcome, I can get really, really frustrated. If I can make, even if it's 5 calls, whatever the number is, and do it consistently, that is a victory. It may turn into a bigger goal later, but I think it's just that systematic achievement of, I'm gonna make X number of contacts a day. Because if I get too focused on the outcome and I go 5, 6, 7 days, 3 weeks without a hit, it gets really frustrating.
Yeah, so that would be your standard, right? If my standard is I wanna make that one appointment a day, I could make that one appointment on the first call and I'm winning. You see what I'm saying?
You go TJ Maxx.
I could go, yeah, I could go to back for red shoes. If I need a pair of red shoes. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever you decide that your standard is gonna be doing consistently over time. It could be 5. It could be 5 calls every day. That's it.
Different page.
I think the greatest thing that I heard him say, and first of all, James Shaw is one of those top tier as far as I'm concerned. And he came to us when we all needed him so much. I just remember going, James Shaw, pandemic, I'm in my house, I'm in my pajamas, what do I do? James Shaw, and he was there. But he said the difference between lead generation and follow-up is that follow-up is the key. Well, that's what I call lead generation, but in my mind, I need to make sure that I know that when I am doing my follow-up, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. And if I go out and try and find new business and I let my follow-up lag behind, then I am really going backwards. And that's like trying to get new business instead of nurturing and loving on my business that I've had forever. So that was the key thing that I got from him, is to make sure that you're following up. If we have 5 open houses on a weekend and we get 100 people into open houses and we don't follow up, and we go out and get a new shiny thing and we start doing lead generation with it, why are we doing the open houses?
Right. I would just do the same thing. I have people today that I need to follow up with on Saturday and Sunday that I still haven't yet. Here it is Tuesday.
And did you do lead generation? Yes,
Yeah.
but did you do your follow-up?
No.
I mean, know the difference. I think that's the key, is know the difference. What is the difference between follow-up and lead generation?
We'll give you 2, and they are, then we'll move on. Less than 4% of agents have a plan to lead generate monthly. Not this one, but nationally, 4% have a plan to lead generate monthly. And the other one that makes me almost weep is that last year, 74% of members of NAR did no business last year.
Wow.
You hear that? I didn't stutter. 74% of NAR members did no business last year. Okay. The good news is that 51% of our agents did one deal or more last year. So are we ahead of the NAR? Yeah. Way ahead of them. You got two of them are here, and I don't want to leave you on a down note. The two here, if you want to, guys, you've got 3 quarters to decide, I'm going to do the activity commitment yourself. And if you decide, you can do it. And if you don't decide, well, guys, I mean, great meeting this morning. Glad we got here, make me smile. The room is full, that room is full. And we got to do the activities, because as I talk to people, I'm hearing is that we got I do 1 or 2 or 3 calls a day. And go get it started. Come on. And then we guys get in the game. And then guys, thank you for being here. You're the one to share it. One's online. I wish I'd been here also. I'm glad you're at least online. But guys, get in the game, because I'm telling you, at some point in the next 18 months, the market is going to blow wide open. And you're still going to be trying to think, what should I do? You guys, it's a regeneration thing. All right. Kim, we have anything else? Y4C2Ts. All right, who's never picked their favorite Y4C2Ts? Somebody has never picked one before. Pick one. Pick one.
Communication.
What communication? Why is that important?
It's so important. I always strive to be a good listener.
That's fun.
2 years with only one mouth, my mom used to say. So, you know, I really try when I'm with someone to really listen to what their needs are, to what their goals are, instead of trying to figure out what I'm going to say next.
Right.
Just listen. And then, of course, helping them in any way.
Love that. My daddy said, Jimmy, the person that talks the most thinks the conversation was the best. The person that talks the most thinks the conversation was the best. And that's what we got, guys. I love this. Okay, Kim, what's next? Thank you for coming, guys. Here's stuff I haven't put on. Thank God for one more time for the amazing and love. Thank you. Next time, go your day.